Hello, and welcome back to another Darkest Duo tier list review.
In this video, we're going to cover the top tier heroes of Darkest AFK. We'll explain why these heroes are essential for your team.
First up, and for good reason, is Rigz Ash. I personally consider his Sacred Aura to be one of the most significant, instantly boosting him to S tier when unlocked, gaining the ability to increase the team's critical chance, and therefore the likelihood of critical ultimates, while also recovering HP when dealing damage with critical hits. Using his ultimate ability, he attacks, applying a buff to your team's damage and critical chance, while negating your opponent's critical chance and reducing their damage output. He has great potential in the campaign, especially when paired with a good healer such as Harumi, whose healing would benefit from the critical chance and damage. When facing the dragons, or similarly against any other bosses, he has extremely good damage and sustainability. Some of the best team results include the use of Tilion and Javan. And while still very strong in PvP, he can be easily countered. Frost damage and stuns prevent your team from attacking, therefore preventing any healing through critical hits.
Next, we move on to a pair of heroes whose outstanding performance in PvP and the Towers of Darkness prove why they belong in S tier. Up first is Otta. Otta is a specialized support class hero. She belongs in S tier because she can dominate certain fights with her ultimate ability. This ability allows her to steal all of the enemy's healing, redistributing it across your own heroes, at the same time reducing the enemy's defense and dealing extra damage to targets who you stun. With Soul Weapon unlocked, it has the extra ability to instantly kill targets under 20% HP. When combined with her passive skill, where should any allied hero be reduced to less than 20% HP, she will redistribute your own team's HP equally, with a brief immunity. And with Sacred Aura unlocked, being able to repeat this effect to a max of twice per battle. These skills can be essential for battles in the Tower of Darkness, turning the tide on most if not all fights, and in PvP she can completely destroy any healing based teams. She works well in most teams supporting as an off healer, shining in teams with a high stunning chance such as Aeron, Rabba, Zorig, and our next hero, Ragnar. Ragnar is a specialist tank class hero who, similarly to Otta, rises to S tier mainly for his ability to soak up damage and lock down targets in a PvP setting.
His ultimate skill lays traps under enemies for 5 seconds, reducing the damage they deal to Ragnar by up to 75%. Those who land 4 hits break the trap, healing Ragnar. Those who don't land 4 hits have damage reflected back at them. His second skill is a powerful stun, affecting 2 enemies, with increased skill chance at higher soul weapon levels. Meanwhile, his passive locks down the enemy with the lowest HP, reducing their attack speed and increasing the likelihood of the target being attacked, all while decreasing their healing efficiency. His Sacred Aura further reduces the attack speed and healing efficiency. Ragnar dominates as a tank in both PvP and the Towers of Darkness. He will go well into most teams, but in combination with Otta, he can yield good damage through stuns, alongside his already impressive skill set.
Next we have undoubtedly the best tank for campaign Baison. His ultimate ability heals him for 50% of his HP, in combination with the stun to the first enemy who attacks him and the fact he boosts all allies' evasion by 100% for 4 seconds. Coupled with his ability to soak damage and reflect it back on the attacker via his passive skill, and utilising another stun in his secondary skill, means there is no better tank for campaign at this time. While easily countered in defensive lineups, he can still be of great use in PvP too. He's also okay in dragons and other bosses for his ability to heal himself and give allies an increased evasion, but can be outclassed by other teams. Baison is the meta tank choice and combos well with a good healer and damage dealers such as Grido, Morrigan and Toshi. Looking for a healer? Look no further than Grido. Grido is a pure healing support class and with investment is considered the best at it. Grido's ultimate heals all heroes but can also apply burning effect upon a critical. His second skill can come in clutch, healing the hero with the lowest HP by 15%. His Sacred Aura doesn't particularly scream broken, gaining an additional 25% on top of the already standard 50, restoring all allies' HP by 75% upon Grido's death. Grido can fit into nearly every team well. Honourable mentions are of course Baison and Morrigan, as this team is considered the best for campaign at present. Grido is a meta choice for healing support, excelling in most areas of the game. Considered the best damager for campaign mode in Darkest AFK Morrigan. Morrigan is a vampire and by rights is capable of dealing great bleeding damage. A significant nuke with her ultimate skill, with the added benefits of self-healing, make her a clear S tier hero. That coupled with her bleed skills in her secondary skill, which deals 400 bleeding damage, whilst lowering a random enemy's accuracy and evasion by 50% for 3 seconds, and the additional bleed effect from her passive aura, which can also help with her sustainability, plus can further boost Morrigan's attack if an ally is inflicted with bleed. She can be a real handful to deal with. She pairs well with other heroes who can monopolise on bleeding effects such as Kajar, but is an all-round good damager and can fit well into nearly any team. She excels in campaign because of her sustainability and is a meta pick for most adventurers, and in PvP she can be troublesome for her enemies to deal with.
Up next, we have a personal favourite of mine, Toshi. In this patch, his Sacred Aura sees a welcome buff to his damage in the campaign. His passive skill allows Toshi to drain energy from his opponents, or to enemies on low energy, or enemies without energy, he deals additional damage, now up to 50%. Toshi has a huge ultimate ability on a really low cooldown, wherein he immediately resets all of the opponent's energies, then strikes 5 times, dealing increased damage depending on how much energy the opponent is missing, in PvE dealing the maximum amount. His skills make him an absolute savage opponent in PvP, but also a huge damage dealer in the campaign. He doesn't have the highest HP, nor the ability to heal, so he is best in a team with a good defense and sustainability, such as the meta team of Grido and Baison. A tricky but interesting hero, Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, rose straight to S tier upon release. Sun Wukong's ultimate ability grows with each use, increasing the attack and lifestealing buff he gives to his allies, eventually permanently increasing his allies' attack and granting an extended lifesteal effect. Sun Wukong's secondary skill is a strong stun which he inflicts on 2 enemies, gaining increased chance at higher soul weapon levels. His passive skill initially steals energy from your enemies and shares it with his allies. Then, as he progresses through the stages of his ultimate, he gains increased attack and finally health regeneration. With his Sacred Aura, in his final form he increases his attack further and the amount of health regenerated. Wukong shines in the arena, becoming troublesome if not locked down. He also has amazing use against the dragons, where he can maximise his ultimate for the majority of the fight. And in the campaign, in combination with the lifesteal spell, together your team can power through some of the heaviest damage over time effects. For this, we recommend a team of Tilion and Javan.
Our next 3 heroes form what is considered another meta team, also known as the Nature Team. First up is the fan-wielding Harumi. Harumi is an S tier support focused on healing with her attacks. Utilising her critical ultimate and Sacred Aura allows her a massive boost to her healing capabilities. When used as part of the Nature Team with reduced ultimate cooldowns and boosted attacks, she can really shine. The team doesn't excel well in PvP, but can carry even free-to-play players to the end chapters of campaign. This team is also one of the better teams for use against the dragons, yielding high trust rewards. Top tip: when in latter stages of the campaign, it is advisable to get a talent buff to help boost accuracy. This will stop Harumi's attacks missing and therefore missing vital heals. Next is the main damage of the Nature Team, Javan. Javan is an S tier support who focuses on draining the stats of the enemies and adding them to your whole team. His other skills focus on buffing and debuffing, making him a tricky hero to deal with when combined with the right heroes in PvP. Whereas in the Nature Team, his skills on a reduced cooldown and combined with Harumi's healing boosted by increased attack make these 3 a force to be reckoned with within the campaign and dragons. The last member of the Nature Team is the flute-playing Otta Tilion. Tilion is an S tier support focusing on reducing your team's ultimate cooldowns. Tilion tends to fall short in a PvP setting where usually fights aren't long enough to maximise his ultimate. Tilion is also an irreplaceable fixture in most dragon teams. His ultimate critical can protect you from the dragon's damage over time effects, Also here he can maximise the uses of his allies' ultimate abilities, and using his passive Aura also increases all damage dealt by 25%.
This concludes our S tier heroes. Hopefully you've enjoyed our video and it helps you further your adventure. From both of us here at Darkest Duo, good day.